In a Virginia Senate debate that happened on Wednesday night, Democratic Senator Tim Kaine's Trump-endorsed opponent, Hung Cao, made some pretty interesting statements about military recruiting.
When you're using a drag queen to recruit for the Navy, that's not the people we want. What we need is alpha males and alpha females who are going to rip out their own guts, eat them, and ask for seconds. Those are young men and women that are going to win wars.
What? They're going to do what? They're going to rip out their own guts and eat them and ask for seconds? And then that's the people that are going to win the wars? No, they're not going to win anything. They're going to die because they ripped out their own guts. What are you talking about? What? No, the alpha males and alpha females, which is not a real thing. But apparently, this is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this guy who somehow flew under my radar. Like, I had no idea. Maybe it's because of the fact that Tim Kaine is so boring that normally nobody pays attention to him. But like, at least ever since like he was the VP nominee back in 2016. But hey, look, apparently it took an insane person saying insane things running against him to actually get people to start paying attention. Okay, so now I want to get to more of the debate here because, well,
Mr. Cao, on the same subject, America is currently short 5.5 million homes. What policy would you support to increase the housing supply? You have 60 seconds.
Again, one of the things we have in this, the problem we have right now is that we're paying $1 billion a day to feed and house illegal aliens in this country. We're taking care of them better than we've taken care of Americans. We need to be medevacing a lot of these Americans that are homeless right now due to Hurricane Helene, and we need to put them into the hotels and getting room service instead of giving it to illegal aliens. And my fear with what Kamala Harris wants to do with unrealized gains is if my house goes up in Zillow, you know, it's just go up in Zillow, but then I don't have that money in my pocket, and she wants to tax that. And that's exactly what's going on right now is, you know, one of the great things about being American is the freedom, and the second thing is ownership. Okay? A lot of countries don't allow you to own the lands, and what they're doing right now is they want to push you out of ownership of your home, and so only corporations and very rich people can buy it, and that's what I want to fight against.
What? Hold on. Wait, what? That's not how it works, okay? I mean, first of all, oh yeah, we're spending so much money housing illegal immigrants. What would you rather have them starve? I'm just saying that's it's kind of a weird position, right? Pitting immigrants versus survivors of Helene. Guess what? We can actually help both of them. I know, and. By the way, what would help is taxing those unrealized gains. Do you realize, and again, this is not how it works, right? How it actually does work when it comes to taxing unrealized gains is you would have the roughly about 10,000 Americans who make over $100 million a year and pay no taxes. They would actually pay taxes on that. What's going on right now is a tremendous loophole for the rich. This doesn't affect your house or the value of your home on Zillow. You suddenly wouldn't have to pay a tax on that. That's not how that works, okay? It's total insanity. But wait, we're not done with this guy. It gets better.
If you were in the negotiation room over the port strike, what would a good deal look like to you? You have 30 seconds.
Again, they're hurting because of the inflation, the immense inflation that's going on right now. And look, just like with the hurricane that's going on right now that happened through the East Coast, you know, where's the leadership? Joe Biden's on the beach, Kamala Harris is with a bunch of billionaires doing a fundraiser, and Senator Tim Kaine is at a pig roast. And where's the leadership? They're, you know, like if it has to do with Ukraine, they're all over it. If it's about illegal aliens, they're all over it. But if you're Americans, you're on your own.
Okay, but what does that have to do with the question about the port strike? The longshoremen who are on strike because they're not getting fair wages, okay? And the automation. What? Didn't answer the question at all, tried to blame immigrants, and then starts talking about like, oh, yeah, Joe Biden's on the beach, and, you know what I'm saying? And then We got my opponents in a pig roast. You know what I'm saying? What? What does that have to do with any of this? There's nothing to do with it. This guy has to be a parody, all right? Except that no, he's not a parody. Apparently, and this is why it's so amazing that I'd never heard of him before, all right? He started running his campaign in order to fight against witchcraft.
I'm sick of all these witches and warlocks.
I kid you not. He said in a video, I'll quote it, "There was a place in Monterey, California called Lovers Point. The original name was Lovers of Christ Point, but now it's become, they took out the Christ. It's Lovers Point, and it's really, Monterey's a very dark place now. A lot of witchcraft, and the Wiccan community has really taken over there. We can't let that happen in Virginia." First of all, that didn't happen. Again, the point, by the way, that he was referring to is actually in Pacific Grove, not Monterey. And the name was actually Lovers of Jesus Point, not Lovers of Christ. But wait a minute, that's the same thing? Now, here's the thing. It was named back when Pacific Grove was a Methodist summer retreat area, which it is no longer. Okay, at some point, the name ended up being shortened to just Lovers Point. But, you know, there's no evidence, though, that the witches were involved in that renaming or that they have taken over the area. And I guess even if they did take over the area, we've got something called the First Amendment. That's a freedom of religion. So if Wiccans did want to take over that area and hang out there and do whatever, okay. Freedom of religion. I don't know what's going on here. But anyway, this guy, I mean, it really is a great example of the caliber of Trump-endorsed picks during this election cycle. You got Mark Robinson imploding in North Carolina, all right, after we find out that he's been, like, making these weird comments on this porn forum, right? Where he's like, I am a black Nazi, and I love transgender porn. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Hey, you know, there's definitely something wrong with you being a black Nazi, but like transgender porn, that's totally fine, right? Then going after criminalizing trans people, that's not fine. That's not fine. So there's hypocrisy there. So that's one of the picks, right? Mark Robinson. This is another one of his picks where apparently he's like, I don't know, I ran to stop the witchcraft. And apparently I'm afraid that my house is, that I'm going to have to pay more taxes on my house because the value went up on Zillow. What? He knows absolutely nothing about what's going on, about what these policies actually mean, which of course makes him, I guess, the perfect Republican candidate. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.